What's up, everyone? Saul here with another SAT Solve Live. The College Board has just released for 2026 the Digital SAT Practice Test 11, which you can find in the Blue Book app yesterday. And today, I have not yet seen any of the questions. I've not opened the practice test or even skimmed it. So I will be looking at this practice test for the first time ever. And I will solve all the questions as I feel, as I experienced it for the first time. And you will be able to see how I work through these problems even when I'm not sure of the answer. If you're lucky, you might even see me make some mistakes and potentially see how I recover from my mistakes. And I think that by itself is a very educational experience, or could be a very educational experience if you compare what I do with what you're doing. You might be hearing my cat in the background faintly. Just his name is Ogu, and he likes to whine sometimes. If you are watching this as a live stream, by the way, welcome. Welcome to chat. I don't know right now. It seems like there might be one or two of you. If you are here, just go ahead and say hi. And you can ask me any questions that you have along the way. I won't necessarily respond to them right away, though, because I do need to focus, especially in Module 2. If you're watching this not as a live stream, but as a replay, then you can actually go down to the video description down here and look for keyboard shortcuts to speed up, slow down, and skip the chapters, which might make it easier for you to watch. By the way, there is a small chance that I have seen some of these questions before through College Board, like recycling questions. I have no idea because I didn't even skim it. So if there are some questions that I've seen before, I'll let you know. All right, so let's go into the practice test itself. Oh, I just realized something. I realized that I didn't put chat up here, so I'm going to add the chat. This chat module, man, this chat module is getting uglier and uglier. YouTube is adding so many things to this that I probably need to use a dedicated like CSS styler or whatever to get rid of all this stuff. But anyway, for now, it is what it is. And we're going to move to my iPad where I'm going to solve the questions. All right. So let me make sure that there's nothing wrong here. Okay, everything is going, I think, according to plan, except, yeah. There is one thing that I forgot, which is this. Oops. Let me just fix this up. All right. All right. So I think this should be good to go. We should be good to go. And you should be able to, let me make sure that it's been a long time since I've done a stream, so I'm just making sure that there's no like mistakes. I'm going to look at the SAT preview just to make sure that the entire screen is visible to you. All right, that works. So I'll be taking this on my iPad mini, and the interface will look the way it is. I feel like College Board might have changed some of the feature, like they might have improved some of the features of the blue book. So I will mention my thoughts just in real time as I go. All right. Again, if you are here, I think maybe someone's here right now. Say hi in chat. Let me know you're there. All right. Uh, it's been a long time since I solved the test, so hopefully I don't make any stupid mistakes. Here we go. Launched regular missions to repair robots will make as human astronauts, paying astronauts to maintain, paying, relying on astronauts to maintain can be expensive. All right, sounds good. Although the government attempted to censor, it's circulated in secret. Okay, yep. Because that's the opposite. Like that's why they would circulate in secret. Nicolas Morato, paradox, critical. Water's critical. The presence during the earliest stages actually impeded the formation, so hampered the formation. Yep, that's just a hard sentence. So if you can't predict the answer to that question, it's you have to work on your grammar actually for that one. A casual description of mural on the bean can make the work seem silly. A painting that is housed in the ambitious, unambitious, simple, not unserious, unassuming. Yep, just double checked everything else and we're good. Following the eradication of the gray wolf, the elk exceeded a healthy size. Right, that makes sense. Overpopulation led to overgrazing of certain areas. And then they realized that the gray wolf was super important, so they brought it back to kill the elk. Okay, so what's the overall structure? Overall structure is a problem and then a response to that problem. No, not potential solutions, and then okay, elimination, and then yeah, B is correct. I'm just gonna double check C really quickly, and then the wait, why they allowed the eradication is a funny. I'm looking at dog, but it's not allow. Actually, it doesn't even. Yeah. Yep, has to be B. For me to explain D, I need to like think a little longer, but for now, I just have that knowledge. I have that feeling. Curious about how people visually perceive objects in their dreams. LeBurge and team. Lucid Dreamers, got it. I'm able to signal eye movements, smoothness, matched. Sighted people who are awake visually track objects. Okay, so it's like that they're totally awake. That the brain is perceiving something as real. Okay. So yeah, that is the finding that they implications a funny word for this one. Oh, I see. Yeah, that was hard to predict because it's written in a way that doesn't like logically, it's not like logically how you would normally describe that. So that one's hard to predict. You kind of have to get that one through process elimination. Um, good art challenges, disrupts norms. But the creation of public art typically requires broad agreement. And if you don't appease everyone, you need to be bland, by the way. Okay, so public art can't be good art, basically. Norm defined pieces. Okay, it has to work together with the environment. Okay, how would the critics mentioned in text 2 respond to text 1? Not they would say not necessarily bland, but you gotta integrate with your environment. Okay, that's D. Oh, it's funny how I just went down to it. I'm like 90% sure it's D. I'm just gonna double check ABC. Unconventionality is a bit. Ooh, A could be better, but it's kind of verbose. So I'm looking at A and D, and I'm gonna narrow down on A for a second. Members of the general public, okay, which I see some connections. Might disagree about the book's merit. Unrelated to the unconventionality. Okay, yeah, I think A is definitely fully defensible, whereas D, contending that kinds of reactions. Inherent is the hard part. There we go. So B, I'm looking at B now, just making sure B is not right. And then C. I can tell my brain isn't totally on because I should have eliminated B from the second word, but I'm not totally on right now. Disputing the notion or easily placated. No, off topic, so that's 7. That I took too long on that, and I can tell my brain isn't fully on right now. So kind of annoying, but got to work with what I got. Okay, 24 minutes. Here we go. Lady Howard, Villers. Wait, why? What happened to? Oh my God! What? Why is it like that? Why is the annotation tool not working? Oh my goodness! What the heck? 1, 2, 3. It's so slow. The hell? And then it doesn't even show. Oh my goodness! Why is it so? Why is it so high up? Annotation is useless. Okay. Lady Howard to Villers, who is the guardian of Evelina. Howard is going to London by her daughter's family. Okay. It is very earnestly my daughter's family's wish to enlarge and enlighten their party by the addition of your amiable ward, who would share equally with her own daughter. Okay, ward must be the Evelina. Do not start, as in do not startle. It is time. Okay, we're saying that you should send Evelina to London with my family, with my daughter's family. Yeah. Paint them to paradise when they shine it properly in due time. They see it as it is. They can go and disillusion themselves and like learn about life. Okay, cool. Agree with which statement about Villers? This is a letter to Villers. We I guess the main thing is that Villers is sequestering young people. He's protecting Evelina. What the? And a B is maybe, but D is more direct, and that's my prediction. B is a little. Says the idealistic is a little hard, and it's interesting. Don't be startled. Don't be startled. She should see the world. That is D. Okay. Here we go. Few animals are known to spit. Humans, cobras, camels. Gray seal. Eagle. Hilarious. Scaring or spitting of gray eagles. Spitting of gray seagulls. Seals, I mean. There we go. Number 10. Percent of drawings contain an example of each animal group. 80% have animals. Yeah, so mammals, birds, and insects are the least popular in drawings. Why can't I zoom out? Come on, zoom out. Okay. More aware of mammals than of other. Yeah, that makes sense. There were more had a. Then yes, that is correct. On to stories. Personal experiences. It's from her personal experiences, saying that her stories are from her. That's B. Yeah, I mean, I don't even need to see C and D. 12. 12. Founded in 1965. Established as a cultural extension of the United Farm Workers. Campesino. Chicano Theater. Cool. Introduction. In an article about the company was Slapstick of the Carpa Theater. That's a separate. That's an influence. Okay. We're trying to illustrate the claim. The claim is Carpa Theater from 20s and 30s influenced something after the 60s. Okay, vaudeville and audience-mediated slapstick. So slapstick is the exaggeration, and audience-mediated is from. Okay, that's actually A supports the whole thing except for the dates, which is what I was fixating on at first. A has to be correct. I'm going to look at B, C, and D. Here we go. Nope. No, off topic. Yep, A is correct. Fiber characteristics of Mouflon, Navajo churros. Oh, I just zoned out. Okay, yeah, I don't know why this list and this list came backwards, but it took me a while to catch up. They, that's bad style, by the way. If you're gonna start with Mouflon, then start with Mouflon down here. If whenever you're writing this kind of when you're doing your diagrams. But anyway, here we go. The diameter and diameter of outer and inner. Okay. So Mouflon has huge variance. Huge variance. So Mouflon's kind of weird. I don't understand Navajo churro. Yet that Mouflon is the most extreme. Which one focus on Mouflon? Okay, I am lost. I'm lost. I need to reread because, and this interface is not helping, but I'm going to reread. Here we go. Oh, this interface really is not helping. I don't know what happened, but they really don't want me to zoom in, so I have to use this. Okay. Mouflon has coarse outer coat. The finer it is, the softer it is. That Mouflon can also be really soft. Oh yeah, that's A. Okay. Okay. A is totally correct, so gotta move on. I spent already a lot of time on that one, and yeah, man, my brain, whew, it is. I'm struggling right now. Um, I am struggling right now. Logically completing this one. Here we go. Street lighting, bicycling, poor lighting for newbies, but little effect on veterans. Could potentially increase newbies. Easy. Human caused noise, narwhals. Noise affects foraging. Natural sound, human caused sound. Ship sounds, and ship plus sonic. Decrease in diving, which is foraging. Okay. Uh, However, the two, so to the fact that just affects, any sound affects it. Or maybe B, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. The frog's range includes parts of, yep. The 12th Amendment ratified in 1908 separated. Oops, what happened? I don't want to make some silly mistakes right now. I don't really trust my brain. Cy Twombly created many large-scale abstract works. In these works, graffiti-like scribbles that, yep, Walston findings indicate, assuming solar panel installation cooperation, this practice has potential to increase by up to 20%. Okay. ISIH, amorphous ice, ultra frigid outer space. Okay. Amorphous ice, yes. That one's fun because you actually kind of need to read the passage for that one. 21. Topographic maps show the elevation of landforms above sea level. Bathymetric maps, on the other hand, show elevation of landforms below the sea. Yeah. Done. 22. Al-Andalus was ruled by states. As a result, yep. Long thought to be sessile. Testudinaria have been observed to shift slightly in position over time. Okay, passive displacement by water. However, it's found that they move towards the heads of their hosts against water, which is with self. Yeah. Has to be, A doesn't make any sense because of the word phenomenon, so that's B. I like how they used 3 words here. I've seen that change before. I don't know if it's new to practice test 11 in particular, but that has shown up before. I also, just to toot my own horn, I also kind of predicted that would happen. In my first practice test, when I wrote my first practice test, I kind of did that. I did this kind of question as well, where you have multiple, like not a single word adverbial. Moving on, 24. We're trying to indicate the length of his piece, slow as possible. Automated organ, so maybe forever. 639 years. Okay. Ducks, how many sites that they visited, and 138 ducks, and 67 ducks visited only one, and 18 visited 10 or more. Younger ducks are more likely to visit more. Okay. The methods are the tagging and the nest boxes. And yeah. By recording... Nope. Nope. Tagged. Yep. That is C. That is the methods. We just presented them. Okay, 26. Workshop. Orcas and vessels. Cool. 637 incidents. Damaging, yeah. It makes me think of like Avatar. Orcas. Okay. Test. Okay. A claim about the behavior, which is they ate. They're attacking more because they're full and bored. Understimulation. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's A. I'm sure it's A, but I'm gonna just double check. Nope. C. Nope. D. Nope. All right. 27. Ammonia. Lewis. Forever free. Male and female upward. Emancipation Proclamation, forever free. Liberty. Historical context, which was written... Oh, in 1867. Yeah, it's 4 years after... Ooh. 4 years, yeah. I just predicted exactly the answer there. All right. I don't need to review any of these questions right now, but I will say 8 minutes and 30 seconds left after Module 1 is a significant drop in my performance because today, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's been a long time, but I've just not. I was just not on it. I could tell that I was sort of lagging, and it was like my brain was ticking and was slow, and I was missing things. So I want to be more warmed up personally. I wish I could pause this video and do some more like practice questions and just kind of warm my brain up, and then build up some momentum, and then go into Module 2. But it's a live stream, so I mean I'm not going to be able to do that. Okay, I'm just going to go into Module 2. But If you are here, if you're watching this stream, go ahead and say hi in chat, which is, oops, chat's here, right? Okay. And feel free to ask me questions in the middle of me solving. It's totally fine to start chatting with me while I'm solving. I might not be able to reply right away, especially in Module 2, because Module 2, I don't have a lot of yoyu. I don't have a lot of slack. Yoyu is the Korean word for that. So I'll have to answer you whenever I can. But yeah, just chat with me, and I'll try to say what I gotta say in the moment. Module 1, if you ask me if Module 1 of this practice test feels different from Module 1s of previous practice tests, to me, not very. I don't sense much of a difference at all. It seems not particularly hard. But there were like one or two harder questions for sure. But that's always true for Module 1. The grammar didn't seem hard at all, but that's also always true of Module 1. So it seemed pretty normal to me. Let me know what you guys thought when you solved Module 1, if it was easier or harder. All right. I have technically 5 minutes and 50 seconds before I have to start Module 2. You might be able to tell I'm kind of procrastinating because I'm a little tired still. Oh yes, let me take a sip of my coffee. Okay. I will also say the iPad experience with the way Zoom works is quite annoying. And I think the College Board doesn't want you to Zoom, but they allow you to Zoom. And as the moment you Zoom, it gets very broken. And especially in like the data questions where you have to zoom and scroll, and they don't really let you do that easily. So that part's kind of annoying. But most of you guys will not be taking this on the iPad. Although if you do own a tablet, I encourage you to experiment with it, because you might find that having something, smaller and more physical may improve your focus on the real test. Okay, so I encourage you to experiment with it. Maybe take one of the Blue Book practice tests on iPad or tablet, and take another Blue Book practice test on the laptop. I don't recommend doing non-Blue Book practice tests on the iPad, because a lot of these developers of apps, of like these sort of like test prep apps, they're not really necessarily good developers, or they're not necessarily try hard developers. So they might have a decent enough like laptop experience or like a web experience, but they might have a really crappy tablet, iPad app experience. So be careful with that. But that's not to even say that the College Board has a good iPad app experience. It's still broken. So, anyway. 3 minutes left, but I'm going to just cut my time short, and we're going to go into Module 2. I don't think I got anything wrong, but I'd be really pissed if I did get something wrong, because it would have certainly come from like a silly mistake. Here we go, number 2. Wish me luck. The initial spread of silk, 2nd century, has been refuted, undermined by evidence 1,000 years earlier, contradicted. There we go. That was a relatively easy Module 2 question 1. Plethora of beads fashioned from TG in many MSA sites across North Africa. Okay, that's a lot. Attributed these apparent plethora, the amount, abundance to the evolution. Yeah. Ooh, fecundity would be funny, but these are beads. And they can't. Wait, propagation symbolic behavior? And humans, right, not fecundity. Now, that's funny because the only people that would even waste 7 seconds on fecundity are the people who know what it means. So that's funny. Anyway, that's one where eliminating dog requires like a 770 level vocabulary, but just getting bear correct. When I say dog, I mean D. When I say bear, I mean B. Getting bear correct requires like a 720 level vocabulary. So, or not even. Ubiquity is so common that it's like, I would consider it 700 level vocabulary. So you should be able to get this right with 700 level vocabulary and just by being patient with your prediction. Okay, number 3. I'm talking too much. This is module 2. I need to be more focused. Tremendous. Wait, breeding pairs with demonstrated success have been observed to foster those of collaborativeness or something. Reciprocity? Oof, no. Flexibility. Oh, yes, because it's familiar structure. I forgot the subject of the sentence. Okay. Yeah, flexibility, elasticity. 1955, Malloy. Oh, dude, I'm blanking out. Okay, novel Malloy. Translation. Malloy, ramparts. Okay, having cleared the ramparts, sky was clearing. Before night. And the sun was manifest. Okay, the sun was shown in was perceptible in Leviticus. Okay, yes, yes, manifest, perceptible. Good. Couldn't think of a better prediction personally. The lair of the white worm. Richard. Adam is meeting Richard at the port. The meeting, so luckily begun, proceeded well. Adam was seeing that the old man was interested in the ship. Maybe Adam is a ship guy. Maybe you should stay the night on the board. Oh, he's like a sailor or like a captain. Yeah, he's like a captain. And the affection quite won the old man's heart. Okay, yeah, because he's being accommodating. Not only in terms of affection relationship, almost like old friends, which is his great uncle. Okay, main purpose of the text is to show the meeting of these two people going very, very well. Ooh, that was not what I predicted, but flexibility and consideration strengthen the relationship between. Yes, that is correct. Flexibility is the scheduling, flexibility and consideration, affection. Okay, here we go. Winner's Tale. Camillo. Sicily. Polysanes. Bohemia. Okay. Camillo is in Sicily in Bohemia. Oh no, is in Bohemia serving Polysanes. And please let me go home. I pray thee, Camillo, be no more importunate. Wait, this is the king. The king. Hey, dude, stop begging me. I hate denying you anything. It feels like death to let you go back to Sicily. It is 15 years since I saw Sicily, though I have for the most part been aired abroad. Though I've lived most of my life abroad, I want to die in Sicily. Besides, the penitent king my master has sent for me, the king of Sicily, to whose feeling sorrows, I might be some allay to his feeling sorrows, or so I think. Okay, that's a second reason for why he wants to go. Nope. Yes. Oop, nope, not speculative. Such as Camilla feels. I mean, feels compatible. I guess B. That's not what I would have predicted. It's kind of strange. Camilla's hope now. No. I guess B is the best. Camilla feels compelled to persuade that his but that's not really the function of that particular underlying part. The whole thing kind of does that. So I'm sort of strange. I'm looking at C now. Recognition that one benefit is for the King of Sicily is merely speculative. Oh, dude. But this one, for C to be correct, you need to only underline this part. What the hell? Dude, for C to be correct, it has to just be. But B feels wrong because of if Camilo feels compelled to persuade policy. Justified. I mean, that's the function of. I mean, that's just the sort of general implication of the entire. Oh, dude, it has to be C, but it's sloppy. Who's feeling sorrows might be some Malay. It conveys one benefit and his recognition that the benefit may be speculative. I mean, C needs to be fixed. C is poorly written. I'm actually pissed because I'm wasting a lot of time on this right now. Because yeah, it has to be C, but I'm very angry about this one because they wrote it. They needed to underline the second half of that sentence, not the highlighted part. But I gotta move on. I don't have that much time. Disagree about the answer to which question? Okay, wait. Sorry, I don't usually do that. Let's go. I'm just losing my. I'm losing my cool. Australia, bulk rock cores. Transient but significant in Mo. 2.5 billion years ago, GA. What does GA mean? I have no idea what that is, but okay. Oh, 2.5 GA. Okay. That's new to me. Okay. On Earth, most weathering. Okay. Oxidation. Increased 2.5 billion years ago. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Lots of oxygen. Examine the core. A clue. Okay. Yeah. Bulk samples can hide details. Volcanic debris. A host. There was volcano. Okay. Fluid could have reached the debris through microfraction initiator long after. Wait, could have. Wait. That fluid. Reached the debris. What's the debris in this context? Microfractures. Where's that coming from? Okay, there we go. And long after, so the Mo could have gone on, I guess. Okay, we're talking about the oxidation time period, and we're kind of disagreeing. But did it basically go right back? Is increase? Yes. In the portion. Is the increase in Mo in that portion about the portion that corresponds to? Is it only limited to that portion? No. Oh, no. Suggested. Before is a little off. Okay. Is the increase in Mo in that portion indicative of during? It has to be B now. Is the increase in Mo attributable to excavator airing at the material found in that portion? That portion? I know it is that portion. Okay, yeah, it has to be B. Whew. I think I spent like 2-3 minutes on that one. That was a long time. Okay, maybe a little too long. Because I didn't follow my own instructions there. I didn't do process elimination the way I normally do it. I kind of jumped around too much. I'm being sloppy right now. The secret hours. The narrator is describing government people. Okay. Finally, Winston Day. I've seen this before. See, molded to adorn a bust or a stamp. Forehead bulging with gray matter, evidently. That it would have been impertinent, improper to inquire too closely into the achievements, into the actual achievements is half central. Okay, but given that such details we're being very secret, they might as well have been. Sorry, we're being very, we're being kind of sarcastic here. Sir Winston Day. Yeah, has he actually done anything? Yeah, and I remember that answer actually. He looks like a person. Yeah. Yeah, but this is quite predictable if you are good at noticing the tone words here. Okay. Number 9. I've definitely seen this one before, I think. But it's been a long time, I don't remember. Studies of ocean wave breaking have predominantly focused on traveling waves, which propagate along the horizontal plane. Traveling waves. Okay. So they utilize a circular wave tank, spike waves. This is not traveling waves. Axisymmetric standing waves. What the hell is a standing wave? Do we have that idea yet? No. That can erupt vertically. What's an axis? There's an axis and it's symmetric across the axis. Anyways, that can erupt vertically when traveling waves propagating when they intersect. Okay, that makes sense. Traveling waves break when wave steepness passes a certain height to length ratio. Yeah, when it's way too, you can't be too much of a spike. Breaking thus constrains wave height. Okay, that makes sense. But spike waves can't exceed that constraint because it's not only about steepness. It's also about jet stability, whatever the hell that is, and cavity shape. Okay, main idea of the text is that, in my own words, traveling waves have a certain limit, but spike waves can, these guys did the circular wave tank thing, and they found that spike waves can go beyond that limit. Oh, that's no. No, not in traveling waves. Okay. Well, it could be traveling waves if it's two traveling waves in opposite directions, but that's kind of a funny that's a verbal ambiguity there. So A could be correct. I'm going to come back to that. Tend to be higher is the wrong word. We don't know about tend. We know about possibility. When traveling waves intersect in specific ways, that sounds good. The resulting wave may be higher than. Yes, that is correct. Okay. I was definitely helped by the fact that I've seen that question before somewhere. Okay. Banded sand cat sharks found in 3 sponges. Cat sharks in sponges. Okay, there are sponge 1, 2, and 3. And there's a lot of males in one. There's a lot of females in one. And there's no undetermineds in one. Oh, okay. This is a weird one to read, but I just understood what's happening. So in sponge 2, there's just a small number overall, and sponge 3, the cat sharks are very much undetermined mostly. Okay, here we go. Sponges 3, microhabitats. Okay, found male and female share the same sponge A fasciatus. Do we have A fasciatus? A fasciatus is cat sharks. Got it. Okay, so yeah, male and female are both in sponge 1, and male and female are both in sponge 2 and 3. All three of them have male and female. Okay. Each of three sponge was, yeah, they all have at least one male, one female. There we go. Number 11. Um, uh, Services, social media. Follow friends. Okay. Convey preferences socially. Okay, that's background. 2023. Frequent users of Spotify to investigate how social features shape the listening. Okay, they might change the listening, mediate listening. Social dimensions tended to make more mindful, which then made them. Yeah, that's so general, but okay. Oh, yes. And what's the quotation? The quotation to support that is I wouldn't have listened to Taylor Swift. No, I would have. Yeah, I wouldn't have listened to. No, I wouldn't. I wanted to listen to Taylor Swift, but I didn't. That's. Well, I mean, that's A. Yeah. Has to be A, but I'm going to just double check really quickly. B, C, D. Okay, yeah, those are all off topic. Trappist 1, which vaguely sounds familiar. Let's go. Oh, God, the zoom. The zoom, the zoom, the zoom. Trappist 1 exoplanets compared to Earth. Earth has a massive orbital period, and Trappist, the Trappists are all similar to Earth, actually. Maybe smaller, maybe a little larger. But their orbital period is really fast. Okay. There is a central star. These four are Earth sized, but they're so close to the star. The star. Around its axis. What the hell? Wait, we don't have. Wait, cause the rotational period around its axis? That doesn't come out at all. And the orbital period around the star? Wait, that information doesn't even come out in the text, so that's. I don't know. Is that an accident? For example, the orbital period of E is 6.1. Okay, I mean, that's just. You know what? You know what it is? They are using information from outside of the. Wow, that's so funny. That's weird. I don't think they've ever done that before. But anyway, this is actually a quite easy. Like actually, if you are a 600, if you are a 550 score, you still would have gotten this one correct. And you would have actually gotten it faster than me because I spent a lot of time trying to predict the answer on that one, and that was silly of me. But it wasn't just because I was predicting; it was because I was also trying to analyze the question structure, and that sort of slowed me down. Anyway, here we go. Which, by the way, just to make it totally explicit, don't don't like analyze. Don't be like a critic of question structure, while you're taking the test. Okay, I'm doing that because it's kind of my job, but you're obviously that's not your job. Your job is to get the right answer. Studies conducted in societies, Western societies, associations between personality traits and five factors, MUSIC. Okay, that's funny. Um, that's so cute. Um, Underlying individual preferences for certain styles of music, MUSIC. Okay, so that's like pseudoscience when they do that. All right, to investigate these associations across cultures beyond the West, collected music preference assessments for Western genres, Preference is not one of those 5. And self-reported personality traits. Wait, music preference assessments, is that the same as the 5, the MUSIC? Accurately captured the participants' taste. Oh, okay, I guess it is the same. Correlation between patterns of these factors. Okay, suggesting that it's universal. Okay. Similar types of Western music. Yeah, that's correct. A is correct, but I'm going to check B, C, and D, but A is correct. But on the real test, I only have 11 minutes left. Oh shit, I only have 11 minutes left, so I'm going to quickly... Strength doesn't come out in C. Strength in C does not come out in the passage. Yeah, okay. I'm confident in A. The ratio of methane mole fraction influences meteorological, precipitation humidity. For Titan, the observational data that exist are, we have too little data and too poor data to fully constrain the range of the methane mole fraction at various atmospheric levels. So there's low, medium, high atmospheric levels, and we don't know the range of the methane mole fraction from data. Point out that the outputs of the IPSL model of Titan is the moon, which track closely to observation in some respects, but not all respects, reflect how the model's developers responded to this challenge. Okay. Developers of the model. By prescribing a uniform methane mole fraction for the lowest. Okay, they kind of assumed, they sort of put an assumption, an assumed value for the lowest level. It is therefore important to note that the model may not be totally accurate. Precipitation and humidity. Yeah, that is A actually, so I'm going to just quickly check. Oof, range, single. C says higher is directional. We don't know that because this is cross. No, that is within them. That's mixing two different ideas. 15. Oh, grammar. Oh, I'm good. Established in 1936, the group provided a valuable forum. It would become a vital part of the Chicago Renaissance. Okay. The scores are famous for their titles, laden with emojis and slop, driven largely by her feelings and mood. The titles allow free from expectation. Okay, it has to be the titles. Each piece, not the titles. The titles. It's also a singular plural thing. Yeah, and that's actually quite fun. That's a fun question. 16. Artist Barada's expedition Ways to Baffle the Wind incorporates all these things. His pieces, her pieces, his or her pieces are explore the ways. Yeah. 18. Walden. Is that a typo? That must be a typo. That italicized bit is a typo. Walden. No, it's a name. Walden, a game. I don't like confusion of the writings. Walden invites players to explore a digital version of Walden Pond. Okay, yeah. For scientists to produce new nanoparticles of a certain way, they must be able to monitor reactions between oxygen and... Fortunately, chemistry professor Yugan-san and his colleagues. Yep, nice. Instead of sleeping on soft pillows, they slept on hard elevated headrests. Their design prioritizing airflow protection. Yes, slept on hard. Their design prioritizing. Okay, absolute phrase. Moving on. 21. If an animal can recognize itself. By the way, if you guys are here, you can say hi in chat. If an animal can recognize itself in a reflective surface, Self-awareness, yes, like elephants. In a recent study, scientists have searching for evidence of self-awareness in species adapted the test to foreground smell. Okay, sure. Searching, because the verb is adapted. In astrophysics, a ring of debris persists as a ring. Well, this is a logical transition question. Whereas a ring of debris orbiting outside the limit would accrete into a satellite. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, okay. Because you swing it further out. And then Bruno Margato and colleagues, fittingly maybe, this dense ring of material orbiting the transmit. Wait, a dense ring. So it's opposite. A ring that has remained intact. Okay, yes, that is the opposite. Okay. Many historical accounts of the 1930s focus on the widespread movement of. Ooh, 5 minutes left. That hasn't happened in a long time. Okay, many historical accounts of the 1930s focus on the widespread movement of people from Dust Bowl ravaged Great Plains states to faraway California. However, maybe they didn't just do that. For example, in some cases, I'm going to guess, more often. Wow, that's even more aggressive. That's more. Yeah, I guess that's a little more. That's stronger than I was expecting, but that's the only one that works. 24. Specify the order in which they were given authority to regulate airline safety. Okay. I'm a little lost, so just let me just understand this. 26. Commerce, regulate. CAA, FAA. The order has commerce to CAA to FFA. Oops, where's commerce? Transfer from the U.S. Commerce, CAA. Okay, 38 and then 58, and those are correct, so I'm done. I didn't read all four answer choices. I was just looking for mine. The meter of a poem is the rhythmic structure. Okay, alliterative meter is repeated sounds. Quantitative is long and short, and Widsith and Megaduta. Widsith is alliterative. Widsith uses sounds. Where's Widsith? And Megadita uses long and short. Okay, that is correct. All right. Leaders of Guatemala proclaimed independence for Central America in September 15th, 1821. Spanish King, 1814. Oh, this is past. Okay, I'm a little lost, but placed in the context of his changing beliefs. Okay, so find his changing beliefs, which is the Valle. Valle, okay. Opposed independence, but changed his mind after the. Okay. Okay, that must be B. Must be B. Okay. Changing beliefs. Yep. I'm going to move on to 27 first, just to get it out of the way. I'm going to come back to 26 in a sec. Modularity of mind is the notion that mind is at least partly composed of innate neural structures, fast necessary tasks. Okay. Hypothesized low level are modular. High level are not modular. 20 years later, Carruthers said low and high are both modular. Fodor, I have seen this question before, so I'm being advantaged here. Fodor is only low, and Carruthers is low and high. Some, but not all, are modular. A works. I'm gonna check C. Nope, that's wrong. And D. Nope, that's also wrong. This one I've never seen before, so I'm just trying to figure this out. Change his mind. Place it within the context of his changing beliefs. Yeah, that makes sense. But I guess it kind of says too little about the implication. Ooh, but Valle doesn't show up here in D, so can't be D. But C is just factually true. Untrue, I mean. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, 26. That's correct. And I am pretty sure I have 54 out of 54. It was a little sketchy because I wasn't in my best. I didn't have my best thinking caps on today. I was a little. I was a little inconsistent, but and I could tell that I wasn't really firing on all cylinders at the right times. I wasn't like nimble and agile like I normally am. I was also helped a little bit by the fact that I'd seen some of the hard questions before, maybe because of like a previous stream or whatever. So I wish I could say that was 100% representative of how I would solve a test. It's not 100% representative. It's like 90% representative, maybe 85% representative, if we're trying to be a little more rigorous. I will say that Module 2 is probably pretty tough, but I can't 100%. I don't feel super confident to evaluate the difficulty of Module 2 because I just haven't been solving a lot of practice tests recently, so I don't have like the best like baseline, like my gut feeling. I can't just trust it right now because I'm kind of outdated. My OS is outdated, but I think even though my mechanics and my sort of general techniques were a little sketchy, I think overall I give myself like a B plus in sort of just executing my plan and not letting myself indulge too much in like little side distractions. So what do I mean by side distractions? Like that one time when I was sort of just like kind of getting pissed off. No, not when I was sort of just like trying to predict the answer to that one graph question or table question where the answer is actually super obvious, but I was just going and double checking if I was missing something, and then I was thinking about the structure of that question, and then I finally zoomed out and saw how short the answer choices were and how obvious they were afterwards, and that took me a long time to sort of like that was kind of a side distraction. There were some other moments like that where I kind of got distracted with like other little tangential projects, but overall, I think I executed. So I'm going to reveal my score soon. Here. Oops, wrong one. Okay, here we go, and then. So I'm logging in to, actually before I do that, let me just actually log in first. I don't want to, let me get the logging in part out of the way and then I'll show you my screen. Okay, let's go. So how did I do? I am pretty sure I got a perfect score. Huh. Oh, my bad. I need to submit the test. Okay, so we're going to get to the score reveal very, very soon. Okay, and I'm going to go and look at it loads fast. Oh, I got one wrong. Ooh. Ugh. But I'm impressed. When College Board first came out with the digital SAT, sometimes these things took like 2 minutes to load, and this one loaded instantly. 790. I am actually a little annoyed with that. Now, I do remember there's that one question where I was arguing that the College Board wrote that question wrong. I wonder if it's that one or if it's just a silly mistake. I'm thinking it's actually just a silly mistake because I'm actually quite confident on that one. I'm confident that I know what they were trying to do. Okay, here we go. What did I get wrong? It's in module 1. Silly mistake. Module 1. Oh, dude. Okay, well, that's question 7. Here, let me actually hide the answer. Oh, no. Yeah, hide the answer, and let's go to question 7. Okay. Oh, this is one that I took too long on, right? All right, so let me go and remind myself what I chose. But here, good art often challenges, disrupts social aesthetic norms. Okay, but public art requires broad agreement. So public art has to appease everyone by not being challenging and disrupting. So if you fail to be bland, then you're going to be challenging, disrupting, which will provoke backlash, always. And then text 2 says, actually, norm-defined pieces that aren't integrated in the manner that price piece merits, as often the case, they could be accepted. They could be accepted if they had been integrated better to help us appreciate the pieces. How would the critics of text 2 respond to the underlying claim in text 1? So it would say, yeah, it doesn't inevitably provoke backlash. It only provokes backlash if it fails to integrate with the surroundings in a way that primes passerbys to appreciate the rule-breaking, disruptive, challenging features. By arguing that the reason they might disagree is unrelated to the unconventional. Oh, I chose A, and A, unrelated, is too extreme. And it's also not exactly what text 2 is saying. So is it D? Hang on. Yeah. By agreeing that nope. By disputing the notion that wait. Yeah, no, off topic, off focus. By contending that certain kinds of reaction controversial often receive, okay, so far so good, aren't exclusively the result of inherited. Oh, it's weird. I could tell that my brain was kind of in a fog, but I didn't really read these two words correctly. And this is obviously correct because it's not exclusively about the controversialness or the disruptiveness of the art itself. It's also about whether it's integrated. And so I should have seen that my prediction matched up with dog. So this was a failure for me to match up. Really, I think I read this part, even though I took a long time to read text 1 and text 2. What I didn't do, and this was something I kept, this was a problem I had multiple times, especially in module 1, but I think even in module 2, where instead of doing process elimination one by one by one by one slowly, I was sort of just jumping around. I was jumping quickly, and in my course and in my lectures, I always talk about the difference between matching an answer versus defending an answer, and I the fact that these are two different processes, and I didn't separate the two different processes. I tried to just do both of them at the same time, and that's what made me get a little sloppy with the answer choices here. Yeah, this is not a silly mistake. It's actually me getting one upped by this question. Uh, it's annoying because there's only 8 practice tests right now in the world, and now it's out on record that I didn't get 800 on this one. So annoying. And all I just maybe I did this too early in the morning. It was 7:30 my time, and I wasn't. Maybe I should have pushed it a little later in the day, but God, I really don't like having this 790 out there. And because unlike some of the other, imperfect scores that I got, this one's purely just my fault. Like I definitely just needed to be better. So, uh, I'm a little annoyed. I'm annoyed. Okay, so that is practice test 11. It looks like no one has any questions for me, at least in chat. So let me just say my thing. If this video has been helpful for you, please hit the like button. Where's the like button? Here. Hit the like button, please, to let people know that this is a good video that they should also see. It helps me to get helps the YouTube algorithm to get this video to more people like you. And if you'd like to see similar videos in the future, consider subscribing to my channel. This spring, I am back in action. I'm going to be very active, and I have plans. I don't want to mention the plans yet because I haven't stabilized them yet, but every day I'm like adding more stuff to my course and to YouTube. So more stuff is coming. If you want to know how to solve practice tests in exactly the same way that I solve them, there is a link in the description. Okay, down here, there's a link for my course called Predict and Match. It teaches you the techniques that don't get covered in the other books. The other books all talk about process elimination, how to do 50-50, skim the questions, skim the passage, look for keywords, scan ABCD for the keywords, and then eliminate, and then do the 50-50s. That's the basic process of elimination strategy, which is good. It's really good, especially if you're like 500 and you're like kind of crawling your way up towards 650. You just need any sort of strategy on the hard reading questions while you're building up like your grammar and your vocabulary and stuff like that. But once you are built up on the grammar and the vocabulary, you'll realize that that strategy is kind of a placeholder. It doesn't really it doesn't take you far enough to start breaking that plateau of 650 or 670 or 680 or and then once you get to like 700, it really feels panicky. Like even if your vocab and your background knowledge and your grammar is like amazing, you like trying to do everything to process elimination feels panicky and you're just tense the whole time. I don't know if you noticed, but in my stream, I was not tense. I was very chill. And that comes from being able to predict a match. So if you'd like to know what it's like and what the step-by-step is for predicting and matching hard questions, that comes out in my course. So you can look at the description there. All right, and I will be adding detailed walkthroughs of all the College Board questions into my course, as well as more just content overall. I think I'll have vocabulary units coming as well in the future, in the next couple months. So those are some of the things coming down the pipeline. So if you're interested in the course, again, you can see all that in the description below. All right, if you are taking the March SAT, good luck, and until next time, keep on learning, keep on growing. All right, peace out, guys.